Sarah today is working out of her Competent Communication Manual. She is working on Project 4, How to Say It. Sarah's objectives are to select the right words and sentence structure to communicate her ideas clearly, accurately, and vividly. She is to use rhetorical devices to enhance and emphasize ideas. She is to eliminate jargon and unnecessary words and to use correct grammar. And Leon, just a quick correction, she actually has 5 to 7 minutes for her speech.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. I always enjoy Sarah's speeches. I really enjoyed the one where she taught us all how to price match at Walmart. And I'm definitely looking forward to today's speech. The title of her speech today is That Was My Idea First. Please put your hands together and welcome Sarah.
Back in 2004, a friend of mine introduced me to a really cool website called MySpace. Now I'll admit I was a little bit intimidated to share all my personal life on the internet, but it kind of grew on me pretty quickly. And, within a matter of days, I had all my pictures and pretty intimate details of my life out there for the whole world to see. Well, it was within a couple months, I was on Facebook too, and all of my friends in the college community were out there sharing their lives, and we were all networking. It was pretty awesome. Soon enough, I had a brilliant idea. I was seeing before my eyes the way people in the college community were interacting. It was changing, and I was going to write a book about it. I was going to interview sociology professors. I was putting together an entire outline on how the way people were going to be interacting in the future was changing. And this was my brilliant idea. Now, you might think today, 7 years later, this is how people interact, and it's not really a brilliant idea. But at the time, when I did research on Amazon.com, there were only about three books on the whole topic of social media. So I had a great idea. Well, I had discussed this idea with some of my friends and some of my family, and I brainstormed, but I never really executed. 7 years later, go out to Amazon.com and search for the way social media affects the way people interact today. You'll find 455 results. But let me just tell you, that was my idea first. A few years ago, my husband and I were enjoying a savory, sizzling sausage sandwich in downtown Chicago. It was so delicious, and I looked at him and I said, wow, I just really wish we could have a sandwich like this in Reno. Well, we talked about it, and I said, we should open a restaurant like that in Reno. But of course, we don't have the capital to open a restaurant on our own. And so we talked about it, and the idea hit me. Food truck. We could open a sausage food truck. So we brainstormed, even started pulling together a business plan for this delicious food truck we would open that would drive around downtown Reno and even maybe hit people while they were coming out of nightclubs. Well, we never opened this food truck, but it was a great conversation we had. And one day he came home from work with the Reno News and Review, front cover, beautiful picture, Calvin Sausages, hottest food truck in all of Reno. Let me just tell you, that was my idea. Thomas Edison once said that innovation is 1% ideas and 99% making ideas happen. Actually, he said that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. I have been the victim of that, and many others have been the victim of that too. You probably have. This thing right here, my grandma bought it for me about 10 years ago. It's called the Cuddle Wrap. She probably bought it off the Home Shopping Network. You can actually find it at Cabela's today. It's like a blanket, but you wear it. The people who invented the Cuddle Wrap, they had an idea, they even executed. not very well. Because everybody back in 1999, somebody invented something called a Snuggie. Have you ever heard of it? The Snuggie had an infomercial go on TV, and instantly their brilliant business plan was picked up by the Today Show. It was in 40 pub crawls where people were all wearing Snuggies around the United States. Celebrities wore it and showcased it on the Ellen DeGeneres Show, and by the end of 2009, the same day they launched it, 40 million Snuggies had been sold. I can't even imagine how many Snuggies have been sold today, but it has its own Wikipedia entry, and there are Snuggies for dogs, Snuggies for babies, Snuggies for everybody. Have you guys ever heard of the Winklevoss twins?
Yeah.
They're pretty much the epitome of that was my idea first. The Winklevoss twins had a pretty brilliant idea called Harvard Connect. Harvard Connect was a social networking site, and they had a pretty good idea, but they really weren't willing to do the work. So they shared an idea with a pretty smart computer nerd named Mark Zuckerberg. And smart guy, Mark Zuckerberg, went out and he decided that he was going to launch his own social networking site, which we all know as Facebook. I kind of reflected on that a little bit earlier. Well, Mark Zuckerberg was Time Man of the Year a couple years ago, and the Winklevoss twins, well, their $140 million lawsuit was probably a little bit more than I got off my sausage truck idea. So they made it off pretty good. Maybe you don't have a lot of budding business ideas, and you might not think this applies to you. But what about the promotion that you never asked for? Or the idea you had in a meeting that you never spoke up about? Or maybe the girl that you never asked out? I can't guarantee that you'll be the next Mark Zuckerberg, or that you'll invent the next Snuggie. But I can guarantee that if you reach out and go for your next idea, that you won't be the guy on the sideline saying, that was my idea first. Thank you.